Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew Givler, also known as GivReads or Sigils, depending on what part of the YouTube space you know me from. I'm an author, booktuber, and a YouTuber for like video games and stuff. And welcome to the channel if you're new around here. Today we're gonna be doing a little recap of last year and talking about the goals for this year. As you guys know, or maybe you don't if you live under a rock, I released 2 books last year. I read Dandelion Audit, which was book 2 of the debt collection came out, and Star Summit, book 3 of the debt collection came out, which was my big goals for last year. I promised you guys I was gonna write a bunch of books, and we did it. But before we dive into all this a little bit more, also don't forget this is a new channel, so hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That stuff really helps, okay? Just trust me on it. It helps, I promise. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, but now that we're going into 2024, I really want to take things up a notch. I feel like by publishing 2 books last year, I was slacking off. I do. I really do. No, I maybe don't feel like slacking off, but I feel like we can do more. As I write more books, as I get better at it, I know I can do more. And so I'm going to tell you guys today what my plan is for this year, so you guys know what to look out. I have the hiccups. So I'm going to tell you guys what my plan is for this year, so you guys know what to look out for. In 2024, I want to write 1 million words. I don't think it's going to happen. 1 million words is like insanity. 100%. For reference, you're like, I don't know what that means, Andrew. Star Summit is about 120,000 words. Dandelion Audit is a little bit longer. I think it's like 125,000 words. So, hold on, let me pull out a calculator. 1 million words divided by 120,000 is 8.3 books. So roughly, I would write about 8 books this year. I don't know if that's doable. That sounds insane to me. Also, part of the reason this isn't doable is because I do other jobs, right? Here's my goal. Every day I'm trying to write 3,000 words. So far, I'm filming this on January 7th. So far, every day this year, I've written 3,000 words, except for today. But today I edited 100 pages of something I'm working on, which is the same amount of work, but it doesn't generate new words. And that's the problem that we might run into, is I think I could actually do about 3,000 words a day, right? If I do 3,000 words a day, 300 out of the 365 days in a year, then I would have 900,000 words, you know? So like we would be real close. But every time I have to edit, it's pretty hard to edit and then write 3,000 words in a day. I don't know if I can do that. And I have things to edit. So as we edit these books, it may turn into something like 750,000 words. If I hit 750,000 words, I'd be thrilled with that. I'd feel like I did really, really good. Honestly, even like 500,000 words, I'd feel great. But like the ridiculous dream is 1 million, so we're gonna go for it. And if we don't do it this year, maybe next year. And as I write more books and maybe as I do other things less, who knows? You know, it'd become more doable, right? Right now, I write books at night. I do make YouTube videos during the day, and then at night I write books. And that's like having 2 jobs, and it's fun. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying there's only so much time in the day, right? But the goal is to write 1 million words. Now, what are those 1 million words gonna be? Well, obviously, there's gonna be another book in the debt collection. We have Death Tax, which I actually finished writing right before the holidays. So Death Tax is actually complete. It's at 130,000 words, I believe. It's the longest book in the debt collection so far, by far, but it needs to go to editing. In fact, I'm going to spend next week editing it instead of writing, so that's going to slow down the word count. You guys, you see the problem that's happening. But we have Death Tax. I'm hoping that Death Tax will come out. I wanted it to come out on my birthday, which is April 8th. I don't think that's going to be doable. Maybe May would be my hope. But we'll see how the editing goes. If it goes really smoothly, maybe. It also depends like on the audiobook. It depends on a bunch of stuff, basically. But we'll see what we can do. After that, there's a couple things I have to write. I just finished writing 40,000 words of a new series. So this year I want to write something other than the debt collection to kind of just cycle between. Not that I'm bored of the debt collection at all, but I want to do other things. You know, I want to keep it fresh. And I feel like if I work myself to death on one, I may stop enjoying it as much. I love writing the debt collection. I love Matt and his adventures. But I just want to have a little palate cleanser. So I want to write a Roman-inspired progression fantasy series. And if you're like, hold on, what's progression fantasy? It's a lot of books you might have heard of or I talk about. Progression fantasy it's often called cultivation. I think it can be called I want to say Zhao Zhao, I think is how it's pronounced, like the Chinese sort of genre that's being copied in Western stuff. I may have mispronounced that horribly, but you're tracking with me. Books that you would know, like Cradle, Warformed, like Iron Prince by my buddy Bryce. Those are considered cultivation or progression, where the character gets stronger and stronger and like develops magic and grows in it. But it's not lit RPG where like you're actually in a video game, like an isekai anime or something like that. So that's like the difference. Like it's like it might have some things that feel like video game rules to the magic, but it exists in its own real world. So I wrote the first 40,000 of that, and I'm sending it to a couple of my author friends who write in that genre, like Seth Ring. I might send it to Bryce if he's not too busy. Bryce is a very busy man. Some other guys who've offered to take a look at it and tell me if I'm writing something that might work well in that genre. Jamie Castle, etc. And so if it does, then that would probably be something we will rotate between. So after book 4 of the debt collection, I have this, right? I've written 40,000. This is about the first third of the book, basically. I also am writing a debt collection novella this year. Now, I mentioned this briefly, and it's actually going to be something you guys will have an opportunity to get for free. I'm going to be giving away for free this year, but it'll also be for sale on Amazon is the plan. But it won't be in Kindle Unlimited, basically, for the first year. I'll explain it as I go, but it'll make sense. Basically, I'm part of an author promo group for the year where we're all giving away one book for free or novella. I'm going to give away this novella, which is in the debt collection. Anybody on their list can get it. Anybody on my list can get any other books. If you're not on my email list, you should be. You can sign up for it on my website. That's a great way to get those books for free. Anyway, this novella is it's going to be called, I believe it's going to be called Piper's Price. And it's going to take place between Soul Fraud and Dandelion Audit. So that year that goes on, it's going to cover some of the Hunt's adventures between that. Because I saw so many comments of people saying, I really wish I knew what the Hunt got up to in that period of time. And I hear you. So I'm going to give you guys a little story. It'll be sort of like book 1.5. You know, it won't be mandatory reading, but it will give you a little something. And I plan for that to be about 30 to 40,000 words. So I'm going to write that next because I have to have it ready for, I believe, October. So I need to write that next. I already kind of know what's going on. I just need to sit down and do it. It'll be fun. It'll be enjoyable. After that, so Death Text should be coming out. I will either finish book 1 of the new series, which I don't have a series name for it yet. I have a potential title, but it may change. So I will just call it the Progression Fantasy series, right? And then we need to write book 5 of the Debt Collection. Book 5 of the Debt Collection, I do not know the name of it yet. I know. Here's what people always ask me: how long is the debt collection to be? How much are you gonna do? What is it? And I say, I don't know. But I do know how the debt collection ends, right? I know what's going on. I know the ending, but I don't know every step we're gonna take to get there. And I know 3-ish books that I have to write, but I'm not sure which order they go in yet. I know that there will be a book called Infinite Sentence, a book called Fell Market, and I think there will be a book called Dragon Dawn, but that one might change. So don't take all that with a grain of salt. But I'm not sure if Infinite Sentence or Fell Market's going to be next. And I believe I know the title of the last book, but I'm not going to say it because it might be the second to last book. We'll see. So that will be what I write next, and I will be taking this time while I'm working on everything else to figure out those orders and kind of lock that in. And then I will finish book 1 of that Progression Fantasy and maybe book 2. I think I want to have a couple of them written before they come out so they can kind of come out quickly and I can stay ahead of them. So my goal for this year is to maybe write 2 of them and then start releasing them towards the end of the year and have like the 3rd one on the way, as well as then book, I guess, 7 of the debt collection. Because remember, if I'm writing 8 books this year, which is not going to happen, okay? But even if I write 5 books this year, that's debt collection book 5, Progression Fantasy book 1, novella, which is like, you know, it doesn't really count. But even if it does, I still need 2 more books. So that would be debt collection book 6. Jeez, that's so many. And Progression Fantasy book 2, at least, is my goal, okay? And if we keep going, then there'd be like Progression Fantasy book 3 in there as well, which would be crazy. It'd be sick to end this year and have like, so I started this year with 3 books, right? There are 3 published books. If I end this year with like 5, well, I mean, I hope I will end this year with 5. There will be at least 2 books coming out this year. That is my 100% goal. I don't want to have less than 2 books come out a year right now. They won't be back to back this time. It'll be like spring and fall will probably be like what we do. But if I end the year with like 7 books out, that'd be sick. There's no way. I don't think so. But these are my pipe dreams. This is what entertains me and keeps me hyped up and keeps me awake at night. So that's the plan. I will update you if anything changes. In the meantime, if you haven't gotten your copies of Star Summon or Dandelion Audit because you somehow missed they came out, they're linked in the description below. You can go grab them, use my Amazon link. I get an extra little kickback if you use the affiliate. If you guys are excited, if you have questions, leave questions down in the comments below. I will answer some, or I will do a Q&A soon. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, I'm going to do more on this channel. This channel's going to stay active this year. So let's get after it.